Hello YouTube. I have big news. I quit my job. I worked for Direct Energy and now I have my own heating concern called Hunker Down Heating. And as you can see, the air is a little frosty and it's winter camping season coming up right now. So I'm gonna get in there and hunker down right away. Just airing it out, getting it ready for the season in the backyard. I don't need any flack about that, but it's in the backyard. Anyhow, big news. I got a lot of questions and answers here from my comments that I'm gonna get through in a bit. We're gonna cook a lasagna in the tent on the wood stove and hunker down for the night. So thanks for staying tuned so far, and we're gonna get on this right away. We're inside and we're about to start a new winter camping season. I don't know if you can see my breath, but I sure can. Anyhow, I'm gonna start a fire here in the tent, airing it out, getting all the mold out. Wow, did I ever sneeze when I first came in here. Very good reminder to dry the things out during the summer when you're not winter camping. But considering that this is a camping with Steve, and again, I'm not Joe. People know what that means. There's no sparks and flint. We just got a little propane torch that we're gonna start this with. And I'm gonna go over a bunch of questions and answers, and I am really hoping I'm going to be able to do a lot more of this because of being self-employed. So that might work to my disadvantage, but we're going to see. Anyhow, a bunch of questions about everything, and we're going to cook the lasagna on here. So things are going to be real good. Also, if you're starting the fire using a wood stove like this, this handle needs to be lined up vertically to get the draft going up the chimney. So anyway, here we go. I think it's working good. All right, once she's burning on the bottom in these wood stoves, you can actually pull her out and close the door, and the draft from the bottom holes should keep this thing burning, and actually burning a lot better than with the door open, because it sucks it from right underneath up the flue. And this thing is still doing very well. I attached it last year and she's hanging on. So this will warm up, and I think it's time to do my questions and answers because I've got a pile of them. Just after a few minutes, here we go. And the fan's gonna start turning as well. Okay, the fire's going nicely now. This fan I'll answer questions about later because I've gotten a few. Anyhow, camping in a tent with fire. Bring a fire extinguisher, really. Like it's 20 or 30 bucks from Home Depot. No reason not to. And keep it within arm's reach when you're asleep. Also, on my pouch, carbon monoxide detector. I know this is a repeat for a lot of people that have watched the last one, but carbon monoxide detector, that'll go off if there is blockage in the flue, or if there starts to become too much smoke in here, which can really happen fairly easily. I keep a knife in there too, in case I have to actually cut through this tent, but that's never been a problem. This is very fire resistant tent and it's installed very properly. So I'll jump right into the questions that I've gotten about this. Where did I get the tent? This tent is Rapala Asylum 4 or Asylum 6. They don't sell them anymore. So I picked this up from a place called Canadian Tire. I don't think there's an American Tire counterpart to that. But Cabela's sells something similar. This thing has 6 sides, so hex, not a hex. Well, whatever a 6 side is, this one is. There's no floor in my tent. Of course there isn't. It's an ice fishing tent. It's designed to plop on the ice and you drill a hole and go fishing all day. I happen to use it because it works very well for a winter camping tent. And I don't need a floor that badly. Everything's up off the ground that needs to be. I've got the cots, the stove, everything pretty well that needs to be up off the ground is always up off the ground. And there's no rats or anything to worry about in Alberta. Rat free. How does the fan work? I get a lot of questions about this thing. There are no batteries in it. This runs off a thermoelectric Peltier effect is what they call it. And there is a junction down here between the hot and the cold side. And so the fan blowing across this keeps this side a lot cooler, and the junction in there are 2 dissimilar metals that happen to produce a current which is enough to circulate the air around. I'm not sure. Some people say it's best to do it like that because you get the cold air blowing on the hot flue and that circulates it around. Some people say to do it this way because it blows the air from the flue. I just kind of put it wherever, and it's always worked for me. Next question. Why do you camp in your backyard? Well, as you can hear by vehicles zipping around, it's not very comfortable to actually sleep in the backyard. But to test the gear out, absolutely. I do not want to get to the woods and find out that this summer I have a rip here from UV deterioration, etc. So those are mostly the ones in the backyard. And sometimes I just have been too busy with work. And that's changing very soon here. In fact, now. But that's why that happens. Why are you carrying bear spray in the winter? I did that in my pouch here. Now, bear spray is very good, and I know that bears camp hibernate in the winter. They hunker down pretty good. And the problem is that bears are far less likely to kill you than people. And there are a lot more people around in the winter, and you're not allowed to carry bear spray to deal with people. So I carry it to deal with bears, if you catch my drift. Let's see. Where are the stovepipes in that arrangement? Okay, so these stovepipes are for wood burning. They're very different than gas appliances. A lot of people have said they should be the other way around, where the big part goes into, or the small part goes into the bigger part, etc. Now that is true for gas, which I work with, and gas flues, we do that. But these, the reason they have them going in like that in between the joints is that the creosote from any wood will drip right back down and not out through the outsides of the joints. Alright, where are we? Did your wife kick you out? No, my wife did not kick me out. My wife has always been a good supporter of the videos we do, and she loves the comments you guys give, and she doesn't want to appear on video. She's a little bit shy, and, well, not really that shy, but she's... How many of you would want to appear on YouTube, right? Like, it takes a certain type of person. So she didn't kick me out. What trade did I take? The trade I took is gas fitting. It's, in some places, paired up with plumbing. So you can be plumbing and gas fitting. I am strictly gas fitting, so that means natural gas, propane, and propane accessories. I know. And that's what I took. Where do I live? if you've seen my videos, you know it's probably colder here than a lot of places out there. And I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. If you've heard of the Oilers, they're not doing well, and that's where I live. How do I haul all this stuff around? If I'm going camping, you know, wood stove, I get that. That's a very good question. But this could all fit easily on a sled in the snow, and you could haul it just over your back out into the woods a fair bit. That's not a big deal. Another question I've got a lot is, what's the deal with crazy neighbors Cobra? Well, that's a long story, but a good one. And I won't get into that. But he owns a Cobra that he built from scratch, put every hand on every bolt in that thing, and it happens to rest in his garage over the summer sometimes, and he takes it out for rides. But the Cobra is, yeah, what year? 62?
66.
66 Cobra, okay. Got a crazy neighbor here who's helping with the video. Okay, the truck camper. Yes, I'm getting to that. I picked up jacks for it, and as soon as I fix up a few vehicle accidents that I've had here lately, I gotta fix the front end on something else. I have to actually get my truck looking a lot better if I'm going to be fixing people's furnaces. They can't see this rusty old thing with the camper on the back. But what happened to my neck is another good one. I don't know if you can see in here, but there is a scar on my neck. I've had a lot of questions about that, and that came from a cyst that was in my neck. I was 18 when I got this taken out, and left a big scar. I used to tell people I got stabbed, or a spider laid a bunch of eggs in my nest, or my neck. I've said it all. And the sunglasses, these things here. These are not sunglasses, but usually when I'm filming a video after work, I still have my protective glasses on, which is safety code for my job. And I've had those on and just forgot about them. Those glasses on the head, they're not sunglasses, and it's not there to look cool, it's just I forgot, and it's convenient. So those are the questions I've got. If you have any more, you can send me some questions to answer, and I'll be more than happy to answer those for you, because actually right now I'm getting highly hungry, and it's time to make a lasagna in the tent. So we will get on that right now. Hey campers, I think we're ready to make a little bit of lasagna in the tent. So, very first thing that we throw in is some ground beef. If you're camping and you don't have a lot of supplies on hand, the best thing you can really do is regular ground beef, because that has a lot more fat in it, which can be used as calories or as oil in the pan for the next step of the progress. We are dumping in some diced onions in here. That's really going to help the flavor. Okay, I've got the beef browned up with the onions, and it's time to throw in the sauce. Classico. In she goes. I'm going to really try to scrape this out because there's a lot of good stuff in here. Anyway, I'll hammer at this and see you in a sec. Okay, for ease of camping recipes, we don't stress too much about mixing things in different pots, etc. Cottage cheese goes in right now, so we're open this thing. It's 500 gram or 1 pound for my United States viewers. Tricky to open, but we're just going to put in a little bit of cottage cheese. Looks good. And we'll mix her in. All this stuff we made in the bowl. And I wish I could do this in one pan, but unfortunately we need to do it a little bit differently here. We put back a layer worth on the bottom because lasagna is layered, right? And this is something you can actually do just normal camping. You could do this over a campfire with a good pan. And grab Italian cheese, which is provolone, Parmesan, mozzarella, etc., etc. A small layer of that. And then it's time to use these oven-ready lasagna slices. They're perfect to use for camping because you don't need to boil them. You can really, if I wanted to do it in one pan, I probably could have. Here, I'll throw in the lasagna portions. Followed by another layer, etc. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing here. So, next layer, closer view. Okay, first layer in. The next layer of sauce. Next layer of additional cheese. Okay, here we go with another layer of lasagnas. And this is just a normal pan. It's a pretty big pan. And also, it's a pretty good pan. This thing is the best non-stick pan I've ever owned. So, on she goes. Lid, fire, hunker down. Alright, we've got some lasagna here, and it looks pretty well cooked, but the one thing that's missing from lasagna is a good crusty layer of cheese on top. There we go with that. So we'll get a little bit of a char on this. Oh yeah. Alright. Now this is a good looking meal. Oh my. I'm gonna grab a slice of this, and then you know what I'm gonna do after that. Hunker down. Yum, yum, yum. This... Oh, yes. I think this is fantastic. And it's about time to hunker down because This is delicious, and I'm about done for the night, guys.